Imagine downloading a program whose entire job is to protect you, to guard your computer, to keep the bad guys out. Hundreds of millions of people did exactly that. They trusted it. They saw that little green checkmark that said, "You are protected," and they felt safe. But what if I told you that this very program, the one guarding the front door, was quietly writing down everything you did? Every website you visited, every search you typed, every video you watched. And then it was selling all of it. This is the story of Avast, an antivirus trusted by over 400 million people worldwide, and how it became one of the biggest privacy scandals in tech history. Let's get into it. To understand how big this was, you have to understand who Avast was. This wasn't some shady app from a random developer. Avast was founded back in 1988 in Prague, in what was then Czechoslovakia. For decades, it built a reputation as one of the most trusted names in cybersecurity. And here's the genius of their business model. It was free. You didn't have to pay a cent to get Avast antivirus on your computer. And because it was free, everyone downloaded it. Students, grandparents, small businesses, gamers. By the late 2010s, Avast protected more than 400 million people across the globe. That's larger than the population of the United States. But that raises an obvious question, doesn't it? If the product is free, how does a company that size make money? Servers cost money. Engineers cost money. Running security for 400 million people costs a lot of money. There's an old saying in the tech world, if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. And in Avast's case, that turned out to be more literally true than anyone imagined. In 2013, Avast acquired a company. And in 2015, it turned that company into a subsidiary called Jumpshot. On the surface, Jumpshot was described as a marketing analytics company, the kind of business that helps big brands understand online trends. Sounds harmless enough. But here's what was actually happening behind the scenes. That antivirus software sitting on hundreds of millions of computers, it wasn't just scanning for viruses. It was also watching. Through a browser extension and the antivirus itself, Avast was collecting the web browsing history of its users. And then it was funneling that data to Jumpshot. We're not talking about a small sample. According to investigations, Jumpshot had access to data from around 100 million devices. Every click, every search, every purchase, every website packaged up and prepared to be sold. Jumpshot even marketed this. One of their products was reportedly called the All Clicks feed, and it did exactly what the name says. It could track every single click a user made on every website. Marketers could see what people searched on Google, what videos they watched on YouTube, what they browsed on Amazon, and even parts of what they did on more sensitive sites. And who is buying this data? According to leaked documents reported by journalists, the client list allegedly included some of the biggest companies in the world, major corporations across tech, retail, and consulting. Avast was, in effect, sitting on a goldmine of human behavior. And it was cashing in. Now, Avast had an answer ready for this. They said, "Don't worry. The data is anonymized." They claimed they stripped out personal details, so no single person could ever be identified. Just harmless, aggregated trends. Nothing to see here. But privacy experts and investigative journalists decided to test that claim. And what they found blew the anonymous defense wide open. Here's the problem. Even when your name is removed, your behavior is a fingerprint. Each user was given an ID number. And attached to that ID was a detailed, time-stamped log of everything they did online. Think about it. If the data shows that at 3:15 p.m., a user searched for a specific product, then at 3:17 clicked a specific YouTube video, and at 3:19 made a purchase on a store where they typed in their name and address, you can work backwards. By combining these tiny breadcrumbs, researchers showed it was possible to de-anonymize people, to figure out exactly who they were. Anonymous data wasn't so anonymous after all. This is the terrifying truth of big data. You don't need someone's name to identify them. You just need enough of their habits. And Avast was collecting habits by the hundreds of millions. For years, this operation ran quietly in the background. Most users had no idea. But in January 2020, everything came crashing down. A joint investigation by the tech publications Motherboard from Vice and PCMag blew the whole thing open. Their reporting laid out, in detail, how Avast was harvesting user data through its antivirus and browser extensions, and how Jumpshot was packaging and selling it. The report detailed the all-clicks feed, the scale of the data, and the alleged high-profile clients. And suddenly, 400 million users had a very uncomfortable question to ask. Was the thing I installed to protect me actually spying on me the whole time? The backlash was instant and brutal. Users felt betrayed. This wasn't a social media app people expected to mine data. This was a security company. A company whose entire promise was trust and protection. The very foundation of its brand was that it kept you safe. And now that foundation was cracking in real time. It got worse. Even before the full exposé, browser makers had started pulling Avast's extensions from their stores over data collection concerns. The walls were closing in, and Avast's leadership knew they were in serious trouble. The response came fast. On January 30th, 2020, just days after the investigation went public, Avast CEO announced that they were shutting Jumpshot down. Completely. Effective immediately. In his statement, the CEO admitted that the data collection was not in line with what customers expected and said the company's priority had to be the trust of its users. A multi-million-dollar data business, one that had been operating for years, was terminated almost overnight. Hundreds of Jumpshot employees lost their jobs. That's how radioactive this had become. Now, you might think that's the end of the story. Company gets caught, shuts down the bad division, apologizes, moves on. But it wasn't over. Because when you collect and sell the data of 100 million people, regulators tend to notice. And in the United States, one regulator in particular was watching very closely. That regulator was the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC. In the US, the FTC is the agency responsible for protecting consumers from unfair and deceptive business practices. And selling people's private browsing data after promising to protect them? That is about as deceptive as it gets. It took time. Investigations like this always do. But in February 2024, for years after the scandal broke, the FTC brought down the hammer. They announced that Avast would be ordered to pay $16.5 million. And the FTC didn't hold back in its language. They accused Avast of unfairly collecting consumers' web browsing information, storing it and selling it, all without proper consent, and doing it while telling users that its products would protect their privacy. The exact opposite of what they promised. But the money wasn't even the most important part. The FTC also banned Avast from selling or licensing any web browsing data for advertising purposes. They ordered the company to delete the improperly collected data and any products or algorithms built from it. And they required Avast to get real, clear consent from users before collecting this kind of information in the future. The message was crystal clear. You don't get to profit from betraying your users. So, what do we actually learn from the Avast story? Because this is bigger than one company. The first lesson is uncomfortable but important. Free is rarely free. When a powerful product costs you nothing, it's worth asking what the real price is. Sometimes, the price is you. The second lesson is that anonymous data is often a myth. Your clicks, your searches, your daily habits, stitched together, they paint a picture as unique as your fingerprint. Removing your name doesn't make you invisible. And the third lesson? Trust is everything. Avast spent over 30 years building a reputation as a protector. And it damaged that reputation in a single headline. Because the moment the guard you hired becomes the spy you fear, there's no software update that can fix it. So here's my challenge for you. Go check the permissions on the apps you use every day. Read, even just skim, what you're agreeing to. Because in the modern world, your data is one of the most valuable things you own. And there will always be someone who wants it. If this story blew your mind, you are going to want to see this next one. I've got a video on the right about how AI voice cloning scams are stealing millions. Tap it. And if you're new here, subscribe, because we break down the wildest stories in AI and tech every single week. I'll see you in the next one.